Our Fix It project is ready for presentation. We'll debate the coach's suggestions with footy boss Greg Swann.
The devil in the detail of the laws governing the 666 breach. We've given Ray Chamberlain that timely project.
And our young guns entering the last month of the regular season. And Will Day is just getting going.
Talked about is just step into it, embrace all of it.
Get in the room and fix it.
It's unedifying for a senior coach to do that.
Err on the side of caution with the brain. Take the man off.
They played the best footy I've ever seen at the start of the season. And if you'd said Brisbane lift the cup, I would have said, of course they do.
It's the stuff that legends are made of.
What is holding the ball? I don't think I could answer it clearly right now.
I could do something wrong, you know, and I need to go. And the board sacks me.
The fans love it, and with no fans, no 360, right?
All the angles of a Tuesday night. Garry, are you a Snoop Dogg? Yes or no?
Of all the things you could ask me.
Yes.
No, I'm a Martha Stewart man. You're a music man. Would you be happy for
He
Snoop
would
Dogg?
sell it really well in the days
What's
leading
his
up.
best song?
Oh, I'm not quite sure. So
Well, there's your answer.
Yeah.
No Snoop Dogg. Out.
Be just a fraction marginal for the actual performance.
Marginal for me.
He'd be a big presence in
He would
town.
be. He'd be good in the lead-up.
Yeah. The couple of days, he'd be something else. It's like being back at school. We've been working on an assignment for 3 months and we're about to present it to
Don't muck it up.
class.
The presentation's about to be made.
Greg Swann is here. We've got all of our fix-its from the past 3 months from the coaches. We're going to present them. Ray Chamberlain's been hard at work on the 666 and the devil in the detail of what we saw.
I'd be hanging around for that, by the way.
You've been in the lab.
Well, yeah, and I've had a quick chat with Razor, and I think we're on the same page, but you'll be a bit surprised, so stay for it.
Nice. Harry Sheezel and Will Day, our youngsters. And then there's so much news around at the moment, particularly with contracts at this time of year. Lauren Wood, John Ralph and Glenn McFarlane are all over that. They'll give you that. And the midweek tackle. And tomorrow night, John Longmire and Adam Simpson, our favourite pairing. Tom Green the night before the Giants play against the Bulldogs, where we'll have the teams and there'll be many a story.
Love Tom Green.
Open us up with a Tuesday favourite.
This was a showdown with a big build-up. We're talking about Miles Bergman, who went to Jordan Dawson 10 weeks earlier, so they tossed the coin, they went out, they went into their position, the ball got bounced, and this is what happened. And from a commentary point of view, you talk about panic. Melbourne panicked. I panicked when this happened, because I'm thinking, we just looked at it and went, hang on, and then you've got 2 seconds to... I think he's gone the wrong way. And then I'm looking at the players, I'm going, has he gone the wrong way? And then he's marked it to have a shot at goal. It was bizarre what happened. And then I did love this.
So no consolation, but is it really necessary to go and rub his nose in it?
No, it's just what they do. I love Zach Butters, though. He just went and stood guard. It's just his natural instincts, like one of those big protective dogs. He just stood in front of him and said, come on. It's a funny start to the showdown. What do you got?
Our 22-year-olds are inheriting the earth. So still the correct answer to who's the best player in the competition is Marcus Bontempelli, and I reckon Jeremy Cameron is second. But have a look at our group of 22-year-olds right now. Obviously, Nasar Wanganeen-Milera is the talk of the town as he reaches the zenith of his 82 games and the massive contract that's about to come. Our Brownlow medal certainty, I reckon, Nick Dacos, who's been dominating counts now for 3 years. He's 22 years of age, as is Finn Callaghan, who is recreating the young Chris Judd days as the ultimate fire starter. At various stages during the year, expressively and expansively, Sam Darcy's been described as the best player in the competition by miles. He's 22, and the most experienced of them is Max Holmes, who's played 95 games. What a collection of five who are... Like, 4 of those are in the best 10 players in the comp already.
Might have to come with me best 23s tomorrow. Where's Noah Anderson and Matty Rao?
A little bit older.
A little bit older. That is an unbelievable group.
What a little group they are.
Not a little, big little group.
All right, let's get to it. Top of the agenda, Greg Swann's been at headquarters for a week. He's got his feet under the desk. We reckon that's about enough time to get busy fixing things.
Fix it, Gerard. We'll go straight to the top and we'll get it done.
Countdown clock. It would make it much, much easier if they never brought the stand rule in. keep 666, but the ability to put two wings on one side of the ground.
Umpires to become full-time professionals.
The sub rule.
Flopping in the tackles.
Hands in the back.
No free kicks at all.
Association
The
funding.
incorrect disposal.
Before I get to mine, Andrew McWalter, I haven't heard that before, but is his suggestion that in the ruck and basically do whatever you like? That's not UFC, you can't punch them.
I understand rule. Teams are double dipping.
Abolish stats from kick-ins.
I'd like to umpire from the couch at home.
Bring back ruck work.
Insufficient evidence for a touched or a goal line decision. I would look for better technology.
You were talking about it before. I like the rugby union model where the game can play on for advantage for a period of time and then be called back.
They're holding the ball. For me, that's the biggest one.
My thing is you have 5 there, just play 5.
Last possession out of bounds gives it to the opposition.
Get rid of those awful signs that you see every week.
That's the first time I've had a comment on it, Coach. No, I like it. I'll write that one down.
Thanks, Gerard.
Come on, Swanee!
And here he is, the man to fix all ills. Greg Swann, great to have you here. Welcome to 360.
Thanks, Gerard.
My mic's not working.
Garry.
You couldn't fix that for me, could you?
No, one thing at a time, Garry.
It's your spontaneous idea that the coaches took wholeheartedly.
And they jumped at it too, so we've got a nice long list for you. But how was this first day? It started early in the morning. You hit the hustings.
Yeah, I saw you guys, and I was on with Mick Malloy. That was good fun.
It would have got deep.
Yeah, and Rui. No, that was good. They were good. Yeah, so it has been an interesting day, long day. Yep.
How's the conference been today?
Yeah, I was there early this morning, so just bringing together all the commercial people from all the different clubs with the aims, just comparing ideas and things. So it was a good idea, and with AFL360 starting as well, there was a bit around that, how to generate a fair bit of good publicity and get that off to a good start.
You got a feel for headquarters yet?
Oh, a bit short. Only been there a week, and I've been in and out a lot, like a lot of meetings and things. But yeah, I'm impressed with the information they've got there, like something that I didn't know, obviously, in Clubland, that there's a lot of information, a lot of data that supports, hopefully, some of the changes that we may or may not make, but you'll be able to make the decisions based on data rather than hunches and things like that.
And we were up there, watched your last game where you got put into the huddle and doused with Gatorade and the whole club's fallen apart since you left. It's kind of rack and ruin.
No, it wasn't a great effort on the weekend, but that's very unlike the Lions, and I'm sure Fags will get them back this week.
All right, well, you're dealing with the nitty-gritty now. Should Toby Green have been fined for attempted kicking?
Look, I spoke to Michael Christian around that. So the thing that saved him is there was no contact. So, it was obviously it's intentional, but he doesn't touch him or he doesn't make any contact. So there's no penalty on that basis. So that's under the rules as they are. That's the right decision.
Do you reckon it was an attempted kick, which is prescribed as a fine?
Yeah. Well,
what else was he doing? Stretching.
He misses him. So that's the reason that he didn't get a fine. Look, and anyway, the rule, it's probably one of the things that comes in maybe in all those questions that you've got, just to look at the tables, because the tables are there. They're very prescriptive because that allows consistency, but then every now and again there's a bit of an outlier. So and it doesn't quite fit in the boxes, and so we might have a look at that in the off season to whether we can tighten that up and. And even bring a little bit more flexibility to it to cope with the outliers.
There's been a little kicker on the back of this. So, Greg, Sammy Edmund reporting and questioning whether there's been a breach of the TV rights agreement, given that Vision first appeared on a non-rights holders programming.
I only heard about that late this afternoon, so I think that's right. I mean, obviously the vision of things like that should be with you guys at Fox and Channel 7, so I'm not sure how Nine got that. I do know from my brief chats that there's going to be a review of how that's happened, but it shouldn't have happened, and so that's a bit of a fault from head office.
We'll wait to hear how that plays out.
Yeah.
Gut punches, I'm not linking this with Toby Green, but
no.
This morning you volunteered this, of which I was very happy to hear. You can stamp this out very quickly.
I think so. I mean, I think, as I touched on, I don't see why that isn't a penalty, to be honest. And I think if you do penalise it, it'll stop. The fines aren't doing it. Now that I've got this job, the thing, you've got to project what happens at the junior levels as well. And so you just don't want that happening. You don't want other people and kids running around whacking guys in the guts because that's what they see at the AFL level. So we'll look at that as a more serious charge, so that it doesn't get to the level of a week rather than a fine.
You will stop that in 2 weeks, anyway.
And Gary's been passionate around where concussion is suffered. It's a 3-week penalty to start with. Are you open to the flexibility of having a sliding scale for 1, 2, 3, depending on the level of culpability?
I think that's right. At the moment, the rule is that it can only go up, it can't come down, so there's no flexibility to come back. So again, we'd have a look at that and just see, depending on the incident, obviously, and Chriso's, when you talk to Chriso, he's super experienced in all this. There's nothing he hasn't seen or been. So I think that will allow him to actually, give some flexibility in the penalties.
Just so the My Check one on the weekend, I think is a really good example of this. So Mansell early in the year gets 3 weeks, which, there was a concussion involved in that. You could argue that 3 was rich. And then My Check gets off with a fine. Now, at the end of it, it's a dangerous action. In my opinion, it's unwarranted, and I think he'd count his lucky stars that he's playing this weekend. And maybe if the flexibility's there, then this can be a week, and I don't think too many people argue it.
Yeah, well, again, it's sort of, because there's no Vlastuin just gets up and plays and it's body contact, again, that's what results in a fine, whereas in this incident, he's obviously knocked out and you get 3 weeks. So you're
the
right.
action's not different, really, is it, between the two? The outcome is.
Correct. So, and again, that's something that it's pretty prescriptive in the table, what you should and shouldn't get in that, and that's why he got a fine instead of a penalty.
So do you think by next year there'll be a scope? There's not 0 or 3. There'll be a scope.
Well, that's what we're looking at. Yeah, that's and you've got to also factor in the legalities of it too.
Sure.
So but I think in the end, if you don't have the flexibility, then it's too rigid. And so, and as I said, there's always an outlier. There's always things that happen that are a bit different that you might be able to have a little bit more discretion.
And this is the common, and I'll hand over to Gerard, this is the common sense that you will bring to the table that people are screaming out for. Paul Curtis was not 3 weeks, and this is what the whole game has been screaming for, is for someone to come in and go, no, it wasn't, but it might have been one, and we might have all been able to go, OK, I'll give a bit and take a bit, and away we go. Yeah,
well, hopefully we can get to there. I mean, one of the things is the consistency also is good, but that's right. There's always that one where, and I do, that created a furor, that Paul Curtis one. So, maybe that can, they're the ones that you might have a look at.
All right, let's hit the hot button topics from our coaches. Dean from Sydney gave us scrap the sub, and he got a mountain of support in the aftermath.
Yeah, I don't think there's too many coaches who want the sub. So, we'll have a look at that one, definitely.
If it's 18-0 or 17-1, 16-2, and the clubs fundamentally don't want it, why would we keep it?
I think I run that same discussion / argument, but there might be other reasons that it's brought in the first place that I don't know about. That there might be some stats or something around it that change it. But I know I don't think it's 17. I think it's 18-0. I don't think anybody wants the sub from what I've heard. So we'll talk about that.
Justin from West Australia says the stand rule either is policed or it's scrapped.
No, I agree with that.
Right, are you onto that?
I'm onto that, and exactly. Actually, I've got a meeting with Simo on.
He might bring up
Thursday. Well, no, I did the same as him. I went around with the umpires and stuff, so we're going to compare notes. But the stand rule's a problem for the umpires, and we want to make it a bit easier.
Do you have a leaning to retaining or scrapping?
Oh, no, probably retaining, but a stand is a stand. You can't run off, the protected zone, when they just sort of barrel out of the way and things. So it sort of defeated the purpose, because the stand was to help open the play, but now that player gets back and clogs up again. So I think it's stand. If it's stand, it's stand.
Adam from Sydney, simplify holding the ball.
I reckon that's the hardest one in the book. Again, talking to the umpires, prior opportunity, all those things that come with it, it's something that's always front of mind, but that's a tough one, I think.
So Adam Kingsley's view is that in a professional sport, trying doesn't cut it. You either do or do not, and to adjudicate that would make it far more understandable.
That's probably right. I mean, there's always those ones where someone gets tackled and they don't even get a boot to it, and it's he tried, play on, or there's a handball that's not really a handball, but it gets out. Let's get going. So it is a discussion piece, but it's a difficult decision, a difficult rule to get 100% right.
Did you think it was going to be easy to get in here and change all
Well,
these things?
I saw a couple that I'm hoping they get a bit easier.
Chris from Geelong says, get rid of the bounce. It's just too
Yeah, I'm a fan of that. I don't like the bounce. I don't see... I think I said it this morning, like, I don't see why the umpires need a party trick, which is to bounce it. It's more important they get the decisions right. Yep. So let's just make it easier, throw it up and concentrate on, hopefully, getting more decisions right than wrong.
Chris from Brisbane, who I think you know, he wants full-time umpires.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I'm not sure about that. I've spoken to the umpiring group and fraternity, and they've all... they're not all that thrilled about going full-time, only because there's maybe not enough... the coaching piece will be interesting about it, whether they went full-time, but they like it how it is at the moment.
Andrew from the West, this probably got as much feedback as any. He just said get rid of ruck free kicks.
No ruck lotto.
It's a guess at the moment. We sit there and go, which way's it going? They look at the umpire, they look at each other and wait for him to point.
Yeah,
of course you can't just rip your heads off, but
no.
Let two monsters go at it.
Well, it probably morphs into another discussion that, the rucks now, in that centre bounce, there's only 1 in 5 jump.
Yes.
4 in 5 walk across the line and wrestle.
Yes.
I don't think that's good for the game either. So let's see if we can get them back jumping, which then hopefully avoids the who grabbed who and, whose free kick is it? I mean, you're right. It's probably like watching rugby union, when it's a scrum and they just point and no one's got any idea whose free it is. So we want to sort of try and avoid that if we can. And
then Chris from Geelong had the kicker to that, which you're right on, is stop waiting for a ruckman to arrive. How did you go presenting that? Yeah, no, again, there's a lot of support for that. The only thing at the moment is because we're at round 20, I was a bit keen to get in and do some stuff straight away, but we've already had most of the season and it's probably unfair to change the rules. Some people, with their rucks, it's an advantage, that they're more mobile and things. So we'll look at that, but I don't think, and again, all the clubs are in favour. There's been a lot of work done before I got there around the weighting and things. The other thing that comes with that, even when you watch this vision, when the umpire first gets the ball, there's probably only 4 or 5 around it. And by the time the ruckmen get there, there's another 6 or 7. So it just promotes congestion. So if we can get it up quicker, and if the ruckmen aren't there, bad luck. They're coming from a long way off.
Yeah, they are. I've seen some clips where, I won't say who, but there's one that he's on the bench and nominates and runs across and it takes 22 seconds to get there.
So I've heard you on this, the gut feel on the match length, which it just blows out and out and out. So we've added an extra 4 minutes in 4 years, 5 years.
Yeah. And there's a lot of little things, like even when you're doing the setup for the 6-6-6 at the start of the game, you've got to get the 2 players into the goal square. When you talk to the umpires, that's always taking 10, 11, 12 seconds per bounce because they're meandering around and they're not in there. So one option is you just get into the arc, don't worry about coming down to the square, and if you're in that, if the 6 are in the 50-metre mark, you just bounce the ball and go. So that'll save. There's all these little things that we want to try and say. We're really keen to preserve the 80 minutes that we play and lessen the bits that we don't.
Yep. All right, Adam from Punt Road wants a countdown clock. Everyone can see the time except the players. What's your philosophical view there?
I don't really have a strong view on that one. Yeah, which probably goes into phases. Don't get rid of the signs though, because if you've got a clock, you don't need the sign.
That was next. Fags was very strong on the stupid signs.
Yeah, they are a bit weird, aren't they? Actually, it's probably good for the commentary because everyone's trying to guess what they're saying. There's a few weird ones.
They've had their moment. Their little quirks are gone.
But I think one of the other things in that is that I don't think the runners are allowed out in the last minute or two. So again, I'm not sure why. Maybe the runners can go out and then you don't have to worry about the signs.
Last touch, out of bounds, the Adelaide rule. Matthew from Adelaide put this on. It's worked in the sample between the arcs. We eventually play it 90% of the time anyway.
We do. I think that's something that definitely be looked at because it's almost morphed into that now anyway. Yeah. So, and again, I think it's easy for the umpires, whether if it's just last touch, as in kicking or as they do in the sample, only between the arcs, and people will get used to that and hopefully...
Well, they're virtually used to it now.
Yeah, and again, there's another thing. If you actually get a free on the boundary line, it takes 5 seconds. If you've got to ball it in, it takes 15. So even that will speed the game up.
Yep.
Damien from Burleigh Heads, stop players leading with their heads.
Yeah. There's been discussed already that a shrug is like a fend. It will be prior opportunity. So if you do the shoulder shrug. So I like that, but again, we've got to confer around with everybody else. I don't think anybody likes it. You always sort of take a little bit from the players as well, because when someone does that and gives a free away, the players get pretty antsy around it as well. So you can see that, they're not happy as well with this. So
it's counterintuitive too if you're leading with your head, given what we're trying to achieve with concussion and how seriously we're taking that. And then you're just putting yourself in a vulnerable position for yourself and the player that's tackling, and it should be stamped out with a free kick quickly. And as I always say, the player's capacity to adjust is lightning quick, and that'll disappear.
So that's certainly been looked at.
Craig from Olympic Park, the late nominee last night. Improve the technology for the score.
Oh, yeah, no, we'd all like that.
Yeah. How hard is it?
Well, it's not my specialty, but there are some people that are coming in to present some maybe upgrades to what we've already got. So hopefully that can happen.
In a perfect world, would you have better technology than we currently use?
Oh, for sure. I mean, I suppose I'm only going on what you see at home, and it is. And I went to the Arc on Friday night and looked at how they work it, and there was a couple of score reviews, and you'd like to be definitive, like, and be really clear. And supposedly there is some technology out there that can be quickly. You can definitely see it hit the finger, or it definitely misses, and things like that. So if we can do that, obviously that's a plus, because at the moment it's good, but you'd want it. Yeah, and technology will improve, so hopefully we can get better.
Yeah. So if we got to a point where there was tech that was zero latency, so you had a real-time decision, that would actually eradicate the score review entirely. You wouldn't even need the process. You would just have the answer.
It'd just be a conversation from the Arc straight to the umpires or wherever. Yeah.
This last one might take some time. Simon from out at Casey Fields talked about the competition restructure and the conferences. Now, I saw Benny Garr was at the summit today, so
he was.
We've got 19, and that'll be. We suspect 20 will be in the planning. Does that open the door for conferences?
No.
Definitive?
Well, I don't think so. I've not heard that.
No.
I'm just saying no, just because you wanted me to be controversial.
I like it.
No. I doubt that'll happen, but we'll get through 19 first and then see what happens from there. I mean, maybe if 20 came along, it might be a different discussion, but certainly 19, it won't change.
At 19, would we be entertaining wild cards?
Probably, yeah. And even I'm not, it might be a final 10, for example, instead of a final 8. I don't know. I mean, there's some of the things that'll work through, but again, that'll be others as well who'll decide that.
Will it be weird going on Saturday night?
I'm going Saturday night. Yeah, a little bit. Yeah, a little bit. Yeah, I was in Clubland for 25 years, loved it. But yeah, I'll go along with my neutral hat on and secretly very confused. I was at both clubs, but I sort of...
Yeah, you were. Yeah.
I like, at the moment, I'm probably still aligned to Brisbane.
Snoop Dogg on your playlist?
No, he's not. But that's not a surprise. He's on my kids' playlist. So.
John Dill's playlist?
Yeah.
He looks a bit funky.
Yeah, Dill's. He's more with it than I am. Yeah.
He's got half a mullet. Going
I guess.
Hey, it is great to have you in, and we appreciate you coming in here today to talk. And hopefully we can make it a regular piece, because as we've spoken about over the last couple of days, talking directly to the most important people is what matters most. And I really appreciate you putting your hand up and. Feedback so far, you're in your honeymoon period.
Oh, yeah, I know. I haven't done anything, so I haven't upset anyone yet, so it's good.
That's great to have you.
Good on you.
Thanks guys. Thanks for having me on.
Greg Swann, the head of footy from the AFL, with our Fix It projects logged by the coaches over the past 3 months. Our young guns are about to join us. Harry and Will, Harry Sheezel, Will Day. Hard times for North, the pointy end for Hawthorn. We'll get their perspective next.
The Turning Point, brought to you by Ashley and Martin.
These careers really can flash before your eyes. One day you're a youngster making your way, and then you're bowing out. The Ashley and Martin Turning Point on Thursday night. Sam Doherty with his curtain call at the end of a 184-game career, and there was so much goodwill attached to that from teammates, opponents, former mates along the way. It was lovely that Cade Simpson was there to join Paddy Cripps to cheer him off. So the end of days for Sam Doherty. Our players, thanks to video messaging platforms, Swish surprised Dad with a personalised video this Father's Day. They're at the other end of their careers. Will Day, great to have you here.
Thanks for having me.
Harry Sheezel, nice to see you.
You too, Gerard.
Have you sat through a few of the blokes saying farewell in the inner sanctum?
Yeah, I have. In my first year, we had quite a few boys retire. It's quite sad when they do retire, but I think we do such a good job of celebrating our greats of the game. And yeah, I was talking about it with someone today, actually. You sit there in those meetings as a first-year player or a second-year player and you think, like, oh, yeah, that'll be me, like, lay down the track. But, like, I'm already end of my third year now. It happens so quick, so, yeah, it reminds you.
Then Sam Docherty's such a revered figure for lots of reasons, which you boys would be aware of. What was it like being out there and part of his last game? I know you're concentrating on your own comeback game, which we'll get to, but was it an obvious part of the night?
Yeah, it was. It was an awesome celebration for him and, trying to get after the opposition and really get at him, but knowing that he's such a respected player and everything he's been through, it's sort of hard to give him a bit of bump on the field. You just sort of want to let him have the right send-off, and I think, everyone did it really well.
And you got through. I mean, Hawthorn fans and Gerard and I, because we're like paternal uncles, waiting for you to come back and play. You got through okay? Yeah,
got through. The day after, I thought I pulled up pretty well, but 2 days post, then I started to feel it. Just all the bumps and knocks and the ribs and the lower back was pretty sore. But, bounced well now and ready to go for this week.
Well, so your recovery was such that you probably were ready 2 weeks earlier and they held you back. So from an engine and tank point of view, did it all feel good?
You can never really prepare for that first one back. The legs felt really good, but just those bumps and especially in the midfield around the stoppages, you can never really prepare for it. I was just happy to get through, have some sort of impact, and I'll just look to build on it for these last few games heading into finals.
No nervous moments?
A few here and there. I was pretty scratchy early with a few of my disposals, but it was all part of it. And
got a hanger in?
It collapsed a little bit, so I didn't get much hang time. But I just had the mindset of being out there was better than not. So whatever happened, happened.
You told us a long time ago you wanted to be back with a handful to go, and that's exactly how it's transpired. Does that feel like the right plan to give yourself a chance to peak late?
Definitely. Within our team, the medical team and the club, we had a really clear plan, and it was that Carlton game that we were eyeing off, and everything went really smoothly and really happy with where it's at. So I go into these last few games with a lot of confidence.
It was a bit grim Saturday night, Harry.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah. So we won't torture you with it, but when you come together at the end of the game and it's been torturous for a couple of hours, what gets said, what gets absorbed in a moment like that?
Yeah, it's a really important period straight after the game because there is so much disappointment amongst the group, and it is quite hard because you know how frustrated everyone is, and we all feel it. Like, we don't want to be losing by 100 points, so that emotion straight after the game is really high. So Jai Simpkin did a great job of bringing us all in there and just making sure that we all stick together and we don't fracture, and we make sure that we have each other's back no matter what, don't blame anyone for anything. And I think that's really important because, there'll be a lot of things said like there has been after the game, but the teams that can get through it are the ones that stick together and help each other through it.
And when do you get to the core of what went wrong?
Yeah, so in our review Monday, we had a few really important meetings, leadership group with the coaches and the assistant coaches, and then with the whole group. And I think we do a really good job of picking out what we need to learn and taking the really poor things and making sure that we highlight that aren't good enough, but then also still trying to understand that we're on this path to improve and still instill belief in the group, because we have 4 games to make another impression, not just for ourselves, but to take into the 2026 season and the off-season. And really important meetings, and it is hard to balance the good and the bad, but obviously there was a lot wrong.
We feel for you. I mean, I've been through it. When I first started, we finished second last as well. So it can change quick, but it challenges your sense of what you think AFL footy is. Like, I don't know whether you feel this, but you're in your own mind, you watch and you see successful teams, and then you're living through a really tough period. Has it challenged the fun of footy for you?
Oh, it's definitely not fun when you're walking off the ground after 100 points.
That.
But well, I would say yes. Like, you're not really prepared for this coming into the AFL. You don't really ever want this to happen or think that it is going to happen. But ultimately, that's the position we're in. Feel horrible for the fans as well, what they've had to go through for the last, not just few years since I've been in the league, but even beyond that. And same with a lot of the experienced players at our club. They've been going through this for 8-9 years now, and it's quite hard on the group, but I think we do an amazing job of, like I said before, just getting through it, helping each other through it, and we understand this is not the position we want to be in. It's a frustrating position, but we are doing everything and working so hard to try and turn it around.
Yeah, and it's not easy to come in here and talk about when your team's not going as well. So, as you said, we're not going to hammer it. Just on Clarko, just tell us, you're a smart, perceptive man, a young man, but how have you seen him through it? Because he's under some pressure now, right? Is that one of the great coaches of the modern era now finds himself being questioned, and he would understand that. How have you seen his reaction to what you've been going through?
Yeah, I'm not just saying it because I have to and I'm on TV, but he's been incredible at sticking to what he can control and making sure that not just our leaders, but everyone in the club and our assistant coaches and him himself are just focusing on what we can control, not listening to the outside noise that can infiltrate. So he's been massive on that, and I think he's genuinely living that. He's focused solely on North Melbourne and helping us get through this. And you can, I think, when there's so much media talk about it and people are reviewing our game so closely, you can sometimes let that in, but we do such a good job of making sure that we're taking what we need to, and he drives that more than anyone.
The sense of where you are in the season, where also players live the week to week, I don't doubt that for a moment, but there is the bigger picture. You're either top 4, top 8 or 9th. How sharp is that reality? Do you open yourself up to that reality?
Yeah, it's hard not to see all the outside noise, and at the moment everyone's predictions has us missing, which in a sense we love. We love being bet against, and we know we have a fairly tough draw, but if we want to get to where we want to go, we see it as great finals prep, and it just means more teams that will be able to leapfrog on the ladder. So yeah, we're excited by the prospect of it.
Have you done a finals, what is it called?
A ladder predictor.
A ladder predictor?
Nah, I haven't. I've just thought if we win the rest of them, we finish in a pretty good spot.
What about your Adelaide boy? Was over there Saturday night. They're flying, and this game on Friday night is going to be enormous. You go back there, the Crows are in as good a form as they've been. I think you guys have been in sneaky good form too, so it must be exciting to head back to the old hometown. Definitely, yeah. It'll be good to see a few family and friends, but as a team, yeah, we do think everything's sort of coming together. A few things have sort of come into place for the right time of year, and yeah, we see this game especially as a really big one that can set us up, but we know they are in red hot form, and especially playing at Adelaide Oval, they go pretty well. How good's Kelshire? He's pretty good. I said the other night after the game that he just does things that just look stupid on the ground. Like for a 19-year-old, I have to keep reminding myself that he is that age, and to be getting up above everyone else and taking one-handed marks and things like that, it's pretty special for what's to come as well. It's a nice luxury in that forward group now. So you got Marbia didn't play on the weekend. You got to try and squeeze him back in with Jack Gunston, who's not supposed to be playing as well as he is right now. I mean, do you marvel at him? Yeah, definitely. He's been one that once Gunners came back to the club, he was doing everything he could to help others, and now it's sort of come full circle, and he's been able to focus on himself, and he's having almost a career best year. So he's been awesome. I think the other players, the captain was right back to the peak of his form on Thursday night. Did that feel timely? Definitely, to have our captain get back to his form, and obviously having a year he wouldn't have liked to have had, but his leadership hasn't wavered at all, and for him to get back into form just shows his leadership just to find a way to get back for us. And yeah, it's exciting to have guys like him, Dylan Moore, really hitting their straps for the part of the season that counts. Are you a watcher, Harry? Like, did you sit down and watch this on Thursday, or do you consume? How much footy do you consume?
I used to consume much more. I used to watch nearly every game, but now I watch probably 3 or 4 games, probably the Thursday night, Friday night ones. Yep. Yeah. Well, and from your own point of view and your footy and where it's developing, is there any one player that you keep a close eye on to sort of measure yourself by in terms of development, either one of your peers or someone that you hope to get to? I think you naturally just follow the guys that you got drafted with or played with. So I played with a couple of Sandy Dragons boys, Will Ashcroft and Cam McKenzie at the Hawks. I like watching them and seeing how they're progressing, which are obviously both flying, and and then just players that you've always admired from afar growing up that are idols. So like Scott Pendlebury's one I've always loved watching, and yeah, there's a few others as well.
We laid the list out with Greg Swann before of what's all the coaches think might happen within the game. There was one that appealed to you.
Yeah, I didn't mind the last touch out of bounds. It's one that would keep the game going a little bit quicker, and I was saying before that, yeah, when we're kicking it down the field, you usually know where you're kicking it, and a lot of guys are good at disguising the deliberates at the moment. So I think that's one that in the sample it's worked fairly well, and I could see coming in and having a good impact.
Yeah, so happy to take the territory and give up the footy sometimes and roll the dice and see if it pans out.
Sometimes, yeah.
Yeah.
What do you boys... This is one that doesn't get paid because it's inside the arc. What do you boys make of the St Kilda finish of this? Because, I mean, we still shake our head to this day. I don't know whether you saw it live, were you watching it unfold, or what did you make of it all?
I got a phone call with about a minute to go saying you got to watch this, and I got the last goal. But yeah, we play the Saints on Sunday, so I'm sure they'll be up and about.
Oh yeah, did you watch it all unfold?
No, I didn't see it, but saw sort of the last 2 minutes unfold. And last year against Port, we were not quite that far ahead, but I reckon 30 points, and we had to learn a lesson the hard way as well. So I think in the long run, as much as the Demons would be hurting at the moment, I don't think they'll lose like that again, which would be great for their development.
We're about to go through it with Ray, the whole 666 thing. So when you watched that last bit, were you cognisant of what was unfolding? Like, would you have been confident to know what you couldn't do?
We actually went through it at the club, and just to get on top of it, and even once the free had been paid, then having to reset as a 666, I wasn't completely over that as well. So, yeah, there's a few little rules here and there that we had to just iron out a little bit.
Would you have known?
No, not with the reset, no.
Yeah. It's absorbed.
It's a good reminder.
It is. Harry, great to have you here. Good luck bouncing back.
Thanks, guys.
Good on you, mate.
We'll see you on Friday night in Adelaide.
Thanks very much.
Good on you, Will.
Cheers.
Will Day and Harry Sheezel, our young guns, with us on Players Night. We're going to delve deep into the 666, the devil in the detail, the rules, what might have been allowed, what was. Gaz has done his own lab. Razor Ray to take us through it next.
You need to calm down. We don't talk to one another like that.
Ray Chamberlain, see you next Tuesday. The 666 was truly beastly for the Demons. These are images that will last for years to come. We have to set the boards. We're doing our counting. What are we doing? No, just one, two, no, just not quite the right number here. Can we get... Oh, no, I don't know. Oh, would you believe? One team knew what they were doing, and the other not quite so much. There's been confessions all over the place as to whether people knew or not. Razor's Edge. This is exactly what it's for. Ray Chamberlain, welcome.
Good evening, gents. How are we?
Good, Razor. Good.
Excellent.
This is perfect for you.
Yeah.
How'd they go, the umpires? How'd they handle it all?
I have watched it and reviewed it, and I must say, on field, I thought they were fantastic. It's a rarefied circumstance. It's not something you encounter. I was talking to Nathan Buckley briefly. He rang to ask a couple of questions, and I asked him questions about clubs and different experience levels and how much time do you spend on game-based scenario. And he intimated that sides that are developing spend less time on it because they've got bigger ticket items. And I think in umpiring, it would be reasonable to say you're spending more time on holding the ball and marking contests, and so these things really pop up, and they handled it brilliantly in terms of what their on-field requirements were. So full marks, I think, pretty much, particularly for the field umpires, who I think did a great job.
All right, there's a bit of devil in the detail. Give us the rule as it is to start us off.
Yeah, so the starting positions go like this. You can have a maximum of 6 in each zone, so that's in either arcs and then the middle of the ground. And obviously in the middle of the ground, you've got the wingers and then you've got the midfielders. You must have a player in the centre circle, and at either end of the ground, you have to have a minimum of one player in the goal square currently.
Right, so as we see it here, he's calling everyone back. The Melbourne players, as I'm watching, must have thought they were going to ball the... I thought they must have thought there was going to be a ball up because they all went and congregated around the circle, including the big ruckman who'd gone down to fill the hole. So he gets called back. For what reason we can debate it in a minute, but they don't have to stand around the circle.
No, they don't. So the midfield players, let's talk about the 3 on-ballers in that sense.
Yep.
They must stay within the square, but they don't have to be like wedded like a magnet to the paint of the circle. No.
So as
one player has to be in the circle.
One player must start in the circle as the laws are written.
Okay. So and then this plays out. And off they go. And we know what has happened. This has been the most replayed piece. Magnificent from the Saints. They worked it through. So well done to them. And there's no denying that they handled a moment and Melbourne didn't. So what I'll get pointy end and specific, and you can tell me whether this is what Melbourne could have done, should have done, and worked out with the degree of hindsight.
All right.
So let's have a look at the lab. So these are the discussions that have unfolded, and this is what, in hindsight now, Razor, we'd like to see. Now, Jack Viney on the far right side needs to slide down to the bottom, obviously. I'd swap Bowie and Gawn. Bowie goes and stands in the centre circle. Max goes and fills the hole. Jack comes down on the corner, covers Caminiti. Drag a couple of the midfielders back. So you've got Bowie on the mark, which you tell me he has to have. Those 3 midfielders are OK to go and stand there, as long as they're inside the square. Kasai Pickett on the right picks up, if in this instance, picks up Wanganeen Miller on the way through, and Max is there too to cover. What is wrong with that? Is there anything wrong with any of that?
So from the way the laws of the game are written, let's go with the easy one. So Viney sliding down and covering off on Caminiti, tick, that falls within the laws of the game of the both wingers.
Yep.
And then the on-ballers that are inside the square, they come back and sag back on the defensive side of the centre square. Tick, no drama.
Problem. Slight stagger, no problem.
Now, you and I are in agreement in relation to the issue pertaining to Bowie and Gawn, but the AFL will have us believe that the laws of the game state that Max has to come back and assume that position.
This is the provocative part, because
Steve McBurney sent yesterday in the clarification, it's the responsibility of the offending team's ruckman, in this case Gawn, to stand the mark when the free kick is taken or move outside 5 metres, with another player not permitted to come and stand the mark.
So the intention of the law is absolutely, I think, in line with what Stephen articulated yesterday. However, if you take the time to read the rule verbatim, one player will be the ruck positioned inside the 10-metre circle. And what it doesn't capture is this instance where we had this early break. And I think it was Windhager. He's the first guy to Gerry on that St Kilda are going to receive a free kick. And so he takes off thinking that he can leave early before the umpire awards the free kick. And then, like the herds on the Serengeti Plains, they all go chasing with him, and good luck herding them back.
But, yes, sorry, go on.
No, and so in that instance then, now they've got to all come back and reset. Now, the laws of the game, the way it's written word for word, you don't have to go... It doesn't stipulate that you must take the same 4 that were in there and go back and assume that position. It just references the numbers of players and where they must be positioned. So your supposition, which is to switch Gawn and Bowie, the way the laws of the game are written, would be permissible. But the intention of the law, which is what Stephen articulated, is a little different.
So, had Melbourne had the wherewithal to do it, the unanswerable question is, would the umpire have said, no, you have to switch back, or the presence of the person in the circle would have been enough? We'll never know the answer to that.
And would, if Melbourne then... If Max, who hypothetically is the most well-read man in football, says, I don't have to be in there, and runs off, would he pay a 50-metre penalty?
And so this is really interesting, because around this law, there is provision where... And it's to avoid... The team trying to hold on to the lead, parking the bus and just going, we're going to have 10 back here and we don't care what you say, they can award a free kick in 50.
So there are a lot of people who are sitting at home going, right, let's cut to the chase.
Yes.
So the spirit of the law says Max should stand the mark, but there's nothing that says he has to. Am I right in saying that?
That is correct in the laws of the game, and you can look it up. I think they had it up there
What is
earlier.
going on then? Where are we at? You can't... Either he has to or he doesn't, Rose. This is not directed at you.
No, I understand that. And when the law is written...
Not that it would change anything, by
No, of course. But when you read the law, the intention of it is that we haven't had this breakaway of all the players running down and leaving their starting positions. And that's where the problem is. What causes that, Gerard, is that the umpire has to wait for the chime to go off in his ear to say that the ad's finished and we can start the game again.
OK, we're only going to run out of time. Is it possible, Ray, that they were watching Saturday night, Adelaide playing the Showdown, a game of which I was commentating, and there was a free kick given after a goal was kicked against Zach Butters Ball comes back in the middle. Yes. Here's the free kick. That's a free kick. Right? Free kick to Port Adelaide. They all scamper. Look, and I'm going, I don't think you can do this. I think you've got to set up, you know, this is what's going to happen. But no, they all took off.
So, and this is the beautiful vagary of the dark arts of umpiring AFL football.
Yes.
Yeah, right. Now, you're spot on.
What happened?
So I'll explain it. So in this circumstance here, if that free kick had occurred in the attacking end for Port Adelaide, the free kick would have been taken where the infringement occurred.
In the forward.
Correct. And then a person would have had to stand the mark and everyone can sort of stand outside the protected area and yell and carry on. So starting positions do not apply when a general play free kick like that has occurred in that break of time.
Go for your life.
But you'd be forgiven for looking at the two circumstances and going, they're off to the
races. But Max will say, I watched that last night. They were allowed to go.
We're recruiting. If anyone's interested, I can put you in touch with a bloke who'll help you get a game.
This is not absolving them of any of their sins from Sunday, but it's interesting that it is a spirit of the game. We'd like you to stand on the mark.
So gut feeling, if you were the have you put yourself into, if I'd been there and then run the hypothetical if they switched, do you think you would have called Max back, or do you think you would go, no, that's perfectly fine?
So, hand on heart, I rang 2 AFL Grand Final umpires and I said, I led with, and I sort of led the witness, I said, they don't have to have the same people, it's just the numbers, isn't it? And they both replied, I think the rules are that it's exactly as you said it, but I think the way they want it is we all go back to where we were before the herd took off. So we're all in an ambiguity sort of position, and I would have allowed the numbers to go and I probably would have been in trouble.
That's right. The glorious grey of it. Ray, thank you.
Thanks for having me.
Razor's edge on the devil in the detail of the 666. Oh, what a game we play, eh? Tomorrow night, our favourite pairing, Simo and Horse, Adam Simpson and John Longmire, who have experienced so much in footy together. They gather on a Wednesday night to make us smarter. What are the prevailing trends? What are the points of difference in the game as we head into the final month of the regular season?
That's a highlight reel that's going to be in perpetuity. What's the word I'm after?
Today, Junior?
Perpetuity for a long time.
It's hard for us to hear down here, old mate, with his leaf blower over the backs going off.
And enjoying a souvlaki on the bench too, I saw.
It was nice to chew into it, and Sean was a bit jealous. Sean Higgins next to you there. So. Old mate needs to go and have a spell. I'm telling you right now.
Well, let's let David Zeta go before we bash up everyone on this panel.
Destroying me.
Let's get back into the newsroom. Zeke's come in here, please. I need help. It's 2-on-1 in here.
Actually, stay there. You're not going to be much use by looking at.
Jeremy Cameron has obviously kicked 11 goals, but who gets the 3 in your eyes?
Well, having been in a game, Jack, where a player kicked 10 and didn't get the 3 votes, depends on impact. Oh, he's got a chainsaw out. I think he's trying to take away one of the posts.
They are. They're cutting at the post.
Shut up!
Who got the 3 that day, do you know?
Yours truly.
Well done.
So the coach is up by 9 goals. He's still not happy that they've given up a goal. Not happy at all. Bailey Smith getting a bit of advice from the crowd and giving it back. You might get a touch more advice here, Bailey. He's still chatting with the crowd.
Unbelievably, on the way home, the big screen in the Qantas lounge, on the couch, you 3 knuckleheads. And Mike Sheen, I'm going, geez, I thought Mike was dead. What's Mike doing?
Oh, Brownie. Midweek tackle in a few moments' time. At round 21, Gaz, kids go free in Victoria. The AFL has announced in conjunction with the Victorian government that kids go free to the 5 games this weekend should they choose to in this state.
Hope a truckload go to Melbourne and West Coast at Marvel.
Herd them all in like they do. Indian cricket sometimes fills their grounds with
Victoria.
So tickets.afl to partake there.
How's the throat?
Yeah, not too bad.
Holding up.
We'll see.
Have a sleep in.
All right, see you tomorrow.